The second-year students escorted Quinn and his friends to a separate part of the school. The school was split into different sections. First-year students studied in separate buildings from the second-year students. The two groups rarely came into contact with each other. Peter leaned close to Quinn. "Should we just run?" Quinn shook his head. "It might make the situation worse. If they were going to do something to us, they would have waited until we were separated. They must have intentionally done this in public to make a statement to all the others." They arrived at their destination. It was beneath a second-year building. The place was practically deserted. Students walked by, but no one looked at them. Quinn understood what this meant. Whatever happened to them, no one would intervene. One of their captors pushed Quinn forward. "Hey, Mono, we brought them, just like you asked." A tall student with brown hair wrapped in a ponytail stood up from the shadows. He waved the other second-year students away, command in his every move. "You guys can go. I've got it from here." The second-year students did as they were told. They left Quinn and his friends alone with Mono. Mono cracked his knuckles. "Rumors have reached my ears of a high-level student hanging around with a bunch of low-levels." Vorden stood his ground with confidence. "So what? Is it against the rules?" Quinn couldn't help but notice Mono's wristwatch, which displayed the number 6. They didn't stand a chance against him. Mono laughed. "True. The school might not have a written rule preventing you from associating with their kind. However, there are some unwritten rules." Mono walked over to Quinn. "You see, the moment you start treating this trash like they are useful to society, they might get big-headed." Quinn tried to take advantage of Mono getting close. He stared at the older boy, calling on his inspect skill. However, nothing happened. The status screen looked blurry, as though it were melting. All of the information was illegible. Quinn looked at the window, letting sunlight into the room. "Is it because I'm out in the sun?" Mono got in Quinn's face, forcing him to look at him. "Look at this scum. I'm this close to him, and he isn't even scared of me. I can't wait for the next war so we can get rid of garbage like him. Only the strong will survive." Quinn's blood boiled. He despised the war. It had taken everything away from him, including his parents. He no longer cared if he was going to take a beating or not. All he wanted to do was punch Mono in the face. Quinn threw out a punch, putting all his anger behind it. Mono predicted his move. Before Quinn started to move, the older student took a step back. Quinn's fist hit nothing but air. Vorden took this chance to try to grab Mono. Mono reacted and advanced once again. Vorden tripped as the other boy moved. Mono smirked. "You think I'm going to let someone touch me when I don't know their ability? I didn't come here to fight you guys. Consider today to be a friendly warning. There are people in the school that not even the military can touch. If you continue acting this way, they will get involved." Mono turned around and walked away, leaving them humiliated in the process. Peter looked worried as they walked back. "Do you think he's serious? At my old school, they didn't like different levels spending time together, but it feels even worse now that we're in a military school. Why don't the teachers do something to stop it?" Quinn wiped sweat off his forehead. The excursion had cost him. He felt exhausted. "Because it works in their favor, Peter. With the strong bullying the weak will try to find a way to become strong themselves. However, if you're weak to begin with, and can't rely on your family to help you, where can you go to get this power?" Vorden spat on the ground in anger. The military. Quinn sighed, seeing how pointless it was to resist. "Exactly. The teachers in the school don't do anything against it, because it benefits them. After experiencing hell for 2 years, your mind will be broken down. In that state, you might do anything to seek power and protection. The military can offer that." Quinn then looked at Vorden, unsure how to approach the subject. "I'm sorry, Vorden, but I think it might be for the best if we comply with their wishes and go our separate ways, for now." Vorden looked more hurt at that than anything else that happened that day. Why should I listen to them? The outburst surprised Quinn. After all, Vorden stood to gain the most from their separation. He was strong, so nobody would bother him. Quinn scratched his neck, feeling awkward. Look, Vorden, you might think you are helping me and Peter, but that's only because you've never been powerless like us. Guys like you don't have to worry about being targeted. If we break their rules, they won't come for you. They'll come for me and Peter. Quinn hated saying that to Vorden. He was the first high-level person who didn't look at them like scum. He didn't judge them based on their power levels. When Quinn and Peter walked around with him, the higher-level students hadn't done anything to them because of Vorden. Unfortunately, Vorden's behavior had attracted bigger fish. Vorden and Quinn couldn't handle Mono. Not yet, anyway. Fine. Have it your way. Vorden stormed off. Peter pulled on Quinn's sleeve. Maybe we should have explained it better to him? Quinn shook his head. It's fine. It might be better this way. Vorden was angry, but not at Quinn. No. He felt angry at the whole situation. It seemed that even here, people were dictating how he should live his life. The school wanted to tell him who he could and couldn't spend time with. Still, Vorden didn't want Quinn and Peter to get hurt. He had to accept this as the right choice. Nevertheless, Vorden wasn't going to let these people get away with trying to control his life. No, he was going to go after them all.